Okay, guys, Sean here, and today we're going to talk about Black Clover and One Piece. I'm trying to go and make this stream, kind of short, so it shouldn't go above 20 minutes. I just wanted to give my opinions on the Black Clover chapter and the One Piece chapter, and that's it because I don't think I might have enough time next week to, do that. So let's get into Black Clover for a sec. This chapter was quite interesting. I believe it's one of the most hyped chapters we've had so far because the other ones have let us down a little bit. It's cool. Black Clover is definitely one of the best running manga at the moment. But then again, there were a few flaws that needed to be exploited by Tabata. Like, why should we get a flashback about, you know, Meloriona trying to fight her junior brother? But then again, story progression is important in the story. So I get this was probably to develop Meloriona's character a little because we know now that she's a genius and she learned things on her own. Other than that, she spent little or no time, with Frego since he had most of his training with, the sister that took care of him when he was younger. So it was kind of cool to see he go against his elder sister, who was probably the strongest magic knight at the moment after the Wizard King. So it's obvious that Meriona might have had the edge in that battle, but she actually enjoyed it and enjoyed the fact that Greg was putting all the work. And that's definitely what's happening in this chapter. Both of them actually putting in the work to, take out these elves. As far as Kaiser is concerned, the elf within him is able to use void magic that actually repels any magic spell, but Fuego is able to utilize Salamander as a decoy to get closer to the elf then land a punch. But we know that at this moment it's kind of difficult for they themselves to, exorcise the elves out of the bodies of those they're possessed with. So the highest they can actually do at the moment is knock them down. I don't know whether their punch is actually going to be able to knock them down because there is a wicked heart. Even if they're actually going all out and putting their lives on the line here, the wicked heart could activate and amplify the elves' magic, leading them to do what they always do, go rogue and on a rampage. I don't think Asta might be there to exorcise all the elves that are actually fighting at the moment. So it's going to be difficult and interesting at the same time to see how they're actually going to bypass this. Well, as far as Melevriona is concerned, she's fighting Vedo. He also is physically gifted, so they're actually enjoying each other's battle styles. And I think Vedo in particular might not mind going down if he actually fights against such an opponent. Then again, Wicked Heart might have something else to say. As far as Asta is concerned, like I said last chapter analysis, I expect him to be able to take off Lila, but it won't be easy. The only reason why I think Asta might actually be able to do that is because if he actually gets the window of opportunity he needs and connects with Blood Armor Sword, everything would be over because he'll just exercise her here and there. So Mimosa might actually be the key or the most important factor in this chapter because Lila's magic is, on a whole other level and it has a lot of potential. So I don't see Asta coming out of this battle unscathed. Mimosa might actually have to heal him immediately he takes out Lila. As far as Licht is concerned, I always express my opinions regarding he and Petri probably having a quarrel regarding the actions Petri took, which might not be leaked like, and probably leaked had a different agenda. I don't actually think that leaked would want what they're actually doing at the moment, but then again, we'll see. Like I expressed my opinions last time, I said I believe each and every one of these elves will probably be a guardian to a magic stone, so that is still to be proven. So this chapter was definitely a 9 out of 10 because of the story progression and because the house Vermilion was actually made to shine in this chapter. So it was quite cool in my humble opinion. Now let's get into One Piece. I never expected Kurosaki to act in that manner, especially when regarding Orochi, who said he wanted to make her his wife. But then again, she states that she is the daughter of a warrior. Now, this very statement has prompted a lot of people in the community to predict that she was probably Momonosuke's elder sister, but that is still to be confirmed by other. For all we know, she might actually be the daughter of another important, figure during the time when Kaido and Orochi actually took out Oden Kosuki. Toko was the most important element in this chapter. She made fun of Orochi, or should I say, she just laughed at what Orochi said, and that prompted him to want her slain. He was actually looking for blood when he went in to slay Toko. This prompted Kuro Musaki to protect her, and that was a 180 I never expected because Kuro Musaki was, she had been associated to the Kyoshiro Yakuza group, and obviously these guys are into shady deals. So I never expected Kuro Musaki to act in that manner, especially regarding Toko. Then Kuro Musaki herself had also been introduced as a character who's Ohoho. Eh, Sorry about that. And she's probably one of those characters who was introduced to have a very, very bad image. I mean, she actually puts on facade by acting as pretty as she is, but in the end, we find out that she's pretty corrupt inside. So I never expected her to act in that regard, especially when she dived in to save Toko. Sorry about background. My pet is kind of disturbing. All right. As far as the Straw Hats are concerned, I already expressed my opinions about that on Twitter. I think that Zoro and Sanji will probably have a quarrel because of Sanji's actions, but that won't come up to the end of the arc. There's also the fact that Luffy needs to escape from prison, and there's also a couple of little details other left here and there. We also found out about Orochi's Yamatan Orochi form, which was quite interesting in itself. Does it give him or grant him a unique ability that is still to be heard? But there was one character that actually struck me in this chapter, and that was the guy that actually said that this is going to turn into a bloodbath. I believe he might actually be on the samurai side and probably would want to fight Orochi here and there. But I don't actually know where he came from, but he appears to, you know, want bloodshed, and things are actually going to turn to mayhem if Doko isn't brought to Orochi at the moment. Now again, Kuro Musaki's actions were kind of weird, and to be honest, I still think there is the lingering hope that she could be Momo's elder sister. Now, when it comes to Robin, the Oniwa Banshu wanted to capture her, but she used her Kagebushi no Jutsu to, you know, evade them. That was quite cool and smart. Like Sawyer said last week, she's probably one of those characters you would expect to make her way out of such a tight situation. Obviously, she did not get what she wanted and informed Nami and the others about the fact that she has been tracked down. And obviously, she had to talk with Orochi, who heard she was interested in Onigashima. I don't actually know whether he gave her a few clues to, you know, the blueprints of Kaido's manner, but at the very least, I believe Robin is smart enough to, pick up on details. So if Orochi left any clues, she might be able to flare them up back to the source and get the blueprints because it's really important to get those blueprints, or else they might actually be exposed the moment they set foot on Onigashima. Orochi himself is quite a funny character because he believes so much in Oden's wife's prediction that he is always talking about it. I believe Kyoshiro even made fun of him in the past because of this, but I think that Orochi is quite smart. He's shown up, he has been introduced to be some, you know, geezer that likes drinking women, but he is pretty smart. And I believe that is because he knows that Oden's wife's predictions probably had never failed prior to her passing away. So it's obvious that at some point those samurais would step up to fight against he and Kaido. I believe that it's a recurring theme in the Yonko arcs that the crew members of the Yonko tend to, underestimate the threat that the Straw Hats as well as the allies pose to the entire crew. So we saw this in Whole Cake Island, and Kyoshiro's subordinates still talk about this by saying what's he afraid of when he has Kaido at his side. But we find out that if Kaido is taken out from, you know, Wano, Orochi is basically trash and could easily be overpowered by any of the top tier samurais such as Ashura Doji. So this One Piece chapter was quite cool, quite interesting as well. I expect the others who are heading to Ebisu town to make their way to Zoro, and Zoro will probably help Ebisu town in one way or another. There's also the fact that Sanji is talking about, you know, redesigning his raid suit thanks to Usopp and Frankie. I believe this might also have to do with Vegapunk who's coming in to the arcs at some point. I believe the characters in the Stroud crew that would really need to, you know, have a chat with Vegapunk would be Chopper, Usopp, and Frankie because they're much more related to, you know, Vegapunk's tech as well as his knowledge on devil fruits. So Chopper obviously wants to find a cure to Luffy's illness or cure Luffy if he ever falls ill. Usopp is a genius when it comes to his creativity, and Frankie obviously is a robotic expert. So these three guys will probably have access or meet Vegapunk at some point in one. Well, that's all I had to say about this chapter. It was definitely an average one. We did not get a conclusion to Sanji versus Page 1. We do not know whether Law, Frankie, and Usopp have already met Zoro, and we do not know whether Sanji must have encountered Basil Hawkins and X-Ray, because we have to remember the fact that Basil Hawkins and X-Ray are all from North Pole, so they would be able to recognize the stealth black of the Vinsmoke technology and probably would be able to link Sanji easily to the Vinsmokes if they're actually able to make him out. Then again, many things have still to be touched in this arc, and I expect 102 to be one of those best arcs, one of the best arcs in One Piece. Many things are, you know, many puzzles are being set up by Oda to, you know, produce an arc that will be one of a kind, probably even better than Marineford. So that's all I have to say about these two chapters. Let me know your thoughts about them in the comment section. And thanks for dropping by for the stream. As usual, I'm your host, Sean, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.